Hi, everyone. Good evening. You're welcome to Let's Discuss, where we talk about practical matters that impact on our lives. More importantly, we look at not just the spiritual aspects of things, but we look at every other aspect of our life. Today, we're talking about a very important topic. We're talking about how to make the most of limited resources. If you had unlimited resources, I'm sure you'll do a lot of things. The reality is that nobody has unlimited resources. We are all limited by the amount of resources we have. That is a fact. But what is unclear is how do we make the best use of those limited resources? Today, we have a very important person in our midst. He's someone I've known for years. He's someone that has single handedly changed the projectile of my life. He's smiling. He's someone who is very humble, but he's someone who single-handedly changed the projectile of my life. I remember meeting him many years ago with my short knicker, feeling quite hopeless about the limited resources I have and how it was impacting on my ability to make impact then in secondary school. I don't know how God did it, but we now sat close to each other. He inspired me and he put a fire into me, which has not gone down. And he's someone, whilst he's a friend, I call him a brother and a mentor because whenever he speaks, I write and get lots of things. He's worked in a couple of places. He's been a senior director at the biggest capital investment firm in the country, and he's been everywhere in senior management positions. So please join me to welcome Teslim Yusuf in our midst.
Thank you, Bolade. Thank you very much, and good evening, everyone.
Good.
Nice to be here.
Yeah.
I'm always comfortable when someone is about to introduce me because, uh, especially someone of the caliber of Bolade Emmanuel, uh, it makes me remember how humble I need to be when someone who is my mentor calls you his mentor. Then we're from there. Thank you for having me once again.
Okay, thank you so much, and thank you everyone that has joined so far. Because of the way I placed my camera, I might not see everybody, but I'm seeing the comments. So please keep the comments coming in. Say hi, say hello, so that we can know who's landed. JJ, thanks for coming in early. JJ was there when we were doing the sound check, and he helped us listen in. So God bless you. You're welcome. Today's topic, I want us to dive straight in. A lot of people know, and for those joining for the first time, feel free to participate. Let's Discuss isn't a forum where we just dish out instructions or information or data or facts. The aim is for it to be a platform, that springboard between where you are and where you want to be. Today, we would be talking about this very important topic, which I believe holds back 90% of us from achieving anything. We look at the little things we have and say, this is not good enough. This is not, big enough. This is not what I am hoping to do. How can I make impact with this? So I'll start with you. Please tell us what your view is on this topic, that why does especially as Christians and even non-Christians, how why do we struggle when we have limited resources and just think that's the end of it? Oh,
Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, this is a very interesting topic. In fact, when you reached out to me to come on your show to discuss this, I was thinking, what do I tell a lot of successful people that are here? But I remember that this is something we all battle with every day of our lives. Essentially, we always get to that point where we start thinking, are the levers of my life going in the right direction? Am I getting the right things in place? Am I moving at the right trajectory? Are there things I'm not doing? Have I failed? There's a way that the devil has a way of convincing us that we are not at par as to where we need to be. And because of that, just like poverty, you tend to continue to defeat yourself continuously and you end up not really realizing your potential because we tend to lose that heart of gratitude as to where we are and having a clear appreciation of where exactly we are at the moment and then being able to fashion out where we want to be in the nearest future. So it's a common, some people call it midlife crisis, some call it all sort of names, some call it some youthful exuberance, adolescence. A whole lot of people have this burden that they live with every day, be it family, be it career, be it personal resources, be it extended family members, even in the workplace. So we struggle with decision making. And Bolade, you remember we talked about being able to talk efficiently about how to make decisions. And I don't know if I can go on. I looked at this.
yeah, please, flow. Yeah.
Yeah, I look at the sum total of all these things, and we can broadly group every of these concern into three broad categories, and they fall into health, wealth, and then relationship. Please take notes: health, wealth, and relationship. The sum total of all these worries, they sit in these three categories, and we can go on and on and on. I'll share a little story with you, but there was a time when I was living in the UK. I traveled to London, and I think I was about 30, 33 years old then. And it was a night bus from London to Nottingham, where I was schooling then. And I sat beside a Nigerian who came from the US to study in Nottingham as well. So we were sitting right beside each other. So we're catching up. And then right there, I was lost in thought. And he noticed I was lost in thought. And then he said, "What are you worried about?" I said, "It feels like my life is not progressing. It feels like I've missed some windows of opportunity." At 33, I was still a graduate student. I was thinking my mates are already senior management people in some companies. Then where exactly am I going to start from? So he told me that, look, it doesn't matter at what point you realize that you need to catch up. It is that point of realization that's the day you've caught up with all the things that you're worried about. And it gave me stories of about two or three of his friends who found their footing, one at the age of 45, the other one at the age of 50.
Wow.
And in 3 years, if you're able to sit back and push the worry aside and think and focus, you'll be surprised that in 3 years you could literally transform your entire life. And I could go deeper into how some of these things fall into these three broad categories. Excuse me. Now, if we look at, for example, people are battling one ailment or the other, it's a source of worry, a source of concern. How am I going to get over with this? Why am I not as healthy as I used to be? Why do I need to go to the hospital for one thing or the other? Some of them maybe by the unfortunate incidents of birth or previous lives and all that. Some of them may be things that are just cropping up due to aging. I don't know the age demographics of the people on this call now, but I believe this applies to everybody. The moment you cross 25 and you're heading to your 30s and all that, everything we've done from when we were born till around that time, the consequences start showing up, especially when it comes to health. If, for example, you've not been eating healthy, you're not very active, you start living a sedentary life and all that, you start having some health issues, you start having health issues and all that. So Now you look at the one that worries people the most, which is wealth. And I can speak for another 1 hour on this. Everybody worries about the next dollar, the next naira. How exactly am I going to make the next money and all that? But you know what I've realized? We spend a lot of our times picking pebbles in the journey of life.
Wow.
And then we fill our pockets up with these pebbles. By the time we now have the opportunity of picking diamonds, there's no space to keep them anymore.
Wow. Wow.
So I heard this from my brother sometimes back, and I said, "Oh my goodness!" And it's also interesting and instructive for you to know that whatever you are thinking and you're worried about today, a lot of people are in that situation as well, regardless of their financial status, their marital status, their career status, and all that. But if you really sit back and you're able to, unbundle all these things into simpler things and you're able to make simple right decision that accumulates over time, you'll be surprised. Like I was saying about my journey to Nottingham, when I finished from Nottingham, I couldn't get a good job and all that. I had to return back to Nigeria. The only thing that changed was that I said, regardless of where I am, I will not be limited by borders. But Ade, you remember when I had to return to Nigeria? I mean, you were already in the UK then as a professional.
Yeah, I
And
remember.
I go back to Nigeria for 2 years. I didn't have a job. Imagine waking up in the morning, you have all the right qualifications, you have the right skills, but there's no job.
Hmm.
It takes it takes it takes absolute courage and kind of a very resilient mindset for you to be able to keep going. And people see me, and when I tell them I am jobless, they said, "Oh, if this is what being jobless looks like, then this is the kind of joblessness I want." Essentially, we worry about a lot of things, but there are some things about wealth. I'll just let you know. I don't know the age demographics, but I assume that a lot of people here are in middle ages, 30s, 40s, and
Yeah.
all. So,
Hmm.
so a couple of things. If you are not in the executive management bracket in wherever you are working today, if it's a 9 to 5, I think you should start thinking of experimenting with some businesses. And I'm not saying take your entire life savings and put in a business and then it will put you into more misery. Business is risky, but entrepreneurship is the only thing that can give you true financial freedom. The next question people would ask is, so what do I do? What skills do I have? What business can I start? I know not everybody is cut out for entrepreneurship, but you don't necessarily have to. I remember Bolade, then you were teaching us how to do
Yeah.
um, forex trading and all that.
Yeah.
It gives you extra. So you need to take delight in extra residual income, every additional dollar, every additional naira out there. Now, a lot of you don't know that you have a lot to offer. Sharing your experiences of life is enough for you to make money in this present day. Everybody is hearing noise about AI, AI. All you could do is, what does it take to know how to, you know, be a prompt engineer to be able to harness AI? You can use AI to solve people's problem, and people are willing to pay you for it. So you need to brand yourself in totality, brand your identity, the businesses that you can do, the ideas or your experiences that you've shared in any area. If you can document it today, the people who own the future are people who have digital assets. Many of you think you can't be on. I mean, I recorded my first YouTube video published. Was it just last week?
Yeah.
Having fun with it. And guess what? Almost about, is it close to 50 something or 60 views? And it was just so, you know what? I need to start gathering my own digital content. Many of you have read so many books. When are people going to read about you?
Hmm. Hmm.
A whole lot of things, a whole lot of business ideas out there, but you need to start on the sideline to start working hard on something that you're really passionate about. I
Hmm.
love photography. I actually paid for my master's with photography, even though I didn't own the business. Even till today, I still do a lot of photography. I would do it for free. I do videography for fun. There are things that you're all passionate about. If you like talking, you can start talking for free. Do your podcast. Talk about things that excite people. You know, There's a whole lot of platforms, more than ever before in the history of mankind. This is the best time to live
Yeah.
because you have opportunities here and there. And I tell people, if you are an expert in broom technology, on brooms, you can just talk about brooms in such a way that even somebody who doesn't have a broom in his house will be willing to buy one.
Yeah. No.
So the knowledge for everything everywhere,
Yeah.
but what is aggregating this knowledge? And what does AI does? Aggregates knowledge for you.
Yeah.
When you go and meet people for mentorship, what are they doing? They're aggregating their experiences and giving it to you on the platter of good.
Mm.
So you need to have something on the side that you are doing. I mean, we don't have enough time here today.
Yeah.
I can talk about 10, 20 businesses that you can
Yeah.
start.
So
So,
we'll get into that. And I want people to participate. Oh, thank you. You're welcome, Ma. Thank you so much. And JJ said a lot of successful people that are here. Amen. Oh, no, that's true, and that's what you've mentioned. I want us to talk a bit more about the psychology. And, this has been one of my favorite stories, and I will say it as well. And it's for us to just think about the psychology of it. When we were growing up, and I hope you don't mind me saying this story,
it's okay. Go
there
ahead.
was a time we were still in secondary school, and there was already a group of people who regarded themselves as the elites in school, by virtue of the fact that their parents were either well-to-do or they've been identified by some certain teachers as being intelligent. I won't even forget there was a time when we got that motivation from Teslim, and we now decided, okay, look, these people call themselves elites, but we don't have as much resources as they do financially. We are not able to either buy gifts for teachers or wear the best clothes, the best shoes. But the resources we have, which is our brain, we would work it hard. We would do our best to ensure that we excel. I won't forget the first test we did. I think it was chemistry. And when they saw my score, one of the people was suggesting that I even sort of copied him. You remember that? they came and said, "Oh, this guy, maybe you copied me." So what I want us to look more about that psychology. Most times we always want to hide because we feel we are not as successful as some people. We feel that some people have the advantage over us, that some people are better than us. I've even spoken to some people when you're talking to them about their potential, they would say, no, there are some other people. There's the who and who is there. There's the that. How would you encourage such people that it doesn't matter even if you feel you are disadvantaged, that what you have, you can make the best use of? So I'm looking more at the psychology now, that
Yeah.
what tips do you have for people who feel that they are not at the standard of others? You are driving a car or have no car, and you can
Mhm.
see someone with millions. Surely, I I know, even, I'm sorry to use this example, it happens everywhere, the place of work, even in church as well, that people who are a bit more wealthy, when they are doing prayers, I notice there's a tendency people want to hold their hands and pray with them as a prayer partner when they call prayers in church, compared to someone who is not that, rich. So how
So
does one get over that psychology of saying, look, some people are more successful than I am, and as such, I have to be playing sort of reserve bench?
thank you so much. I mean, that's a very important point. See, a few things. There's no tyranny of circumstance that can imprison permanently a determined will. Um, and you have to really, really be careful here because a lot of people they defeat themselves several times before the challenges of life catches up with them. And you have to be careful the circle. If you don't have the right people with the right mindset around you, you're going to keep growing in that negativity. You go into the inertia of negativity to that point where you get to that point where you can't pull yourself out anymore. You know my background. Grew up in the barracks. I don't know if any of you have seen police barrack in Nigeria. It's the worst place that any young man or any young child should grow up in. Right opposite our high school back then. And then it was all negativity. We literally would have to go walk extra mile to the wrong direction just so our friends won't see where we live. It was appalling. But there was one thing that was paramount in my mind and even in the minds of my siblings then, that we would not have to remain like this. We would have to find a way to write our name in the book of success, at least amongst our peers. And today I wear that negativity like a badge of honor that yes, even though this was where I started, this is not where I am now. I'm not where I should be. But I think if I look back, I think I have a lot to be grateful for. So it doesn't matter if you start your life as a houseboy, as a pauper, as a poor student, as at the bottom of the career ladder. What matters is, in fact, the real failure comes when you accept your fate and you remain there. You have to fight for your liberty in everything. The liberty of your mind is the first thing. If you're able to liberate your mind, that I don't have to remain here. And it doesn't matter how long it will take me. As long
Mm,
as I'm breathing, I'm working, and I have the energy, and there's a God that still sits on the affairs of men, I
mm.
can rewrite this story. Many of us will be shocked the day we die and we meet God and He tells us, this is what you could have been.
Wow.
But this is what you are. A lot of us will be shocked. Everything I tell people, God doesn't owe us anything anymore. If He has brought us to this world, He showed us examples of people who don't even have half of the things that we have today. And they've also succeeded. We've seen a lot of stories. I don't need to give you, I won't come here to tell you aspire to acquire to pass. If you have a cloth on your neck today, God has covered your shame. If you have
Mm,
a roof over your head, if you have a place to sleep today, God has protected you, He's giving you shelter.
wow.
If you can get something to eat, whether you are paying from your pocket or someone is helping you get that food to eat, you are better off than millions of people
Mm,
out there. Now, you now limit yourself if you do not try to amount to anything. You must identify what are your weaknesses and what are your strengths, and consolidate on your strengths and work on your weaknesses. And you'll be surprised that you will overcome many of these life challenges. Trust me, throughout every stage of our life, we are going to face the challenges that we have to manage. When we're young, the challenge was, oh, we need to finish high school, we need
mm,
to get into college. When we got into college, it was, oh, we need to graduate and get a job. When we finished from college, looking for a job was a challenge. Maybe you get underpaid where you get a job. Maybe suddenly, you lose your job, or maybe you even look for a job for years. Then you get a job. Then you need to start a family. You have a family. You are learning to be compatible with your partner. The challenges of even marriage comes with its own bundle of hurdles to cross. And then you're getting a job, maybe at your workplace, you have a bad boss. Oh, you're not being promoted. Your effort is not recognized. You live with those burdens. Then you leave the workplace. Or maybe you even have your own business. You can't get the right employees. Or the numbers are not hard enough, but the government is coming with taxes. Now, at certain age, you're looking at your health. You're not as agile as you are. You now have pot belly like me. You're trying to run kilometers every morning just to keep fit. Suddenly you realize, oh, your metabolism is not as good as before. Oh, your BP is not normal as it used to be. Now you have to worry about that. You're seeing the doctors. Oh, you get something and you start wearing glasses like us. I never started with glasses. I know Bolade, I've always known it with glasses, but I mean, at a certain age, my eyes were not as sharp as before again. And then you get to you get to this our age bracket, you're thinking, what next? Now I
mm.
have a job area. Now I have to maintain certain level of livelihood. Now you have children you're raising, and they come with their own challenges as well. How
Wow.
do you want them to be successful? You want to plan for their future. You also know that we are all living life on borrowed time. You don't
Mm,
own it. It's God's time. And it's not about how long or how short. It is the quality of what you do in between.
that's true.
And then, even if you grow to 70 to 80, you don't have to battle the challenges of old age. I always tell people the moment you get to that point when your dreams and aspirations are far less than your hopes, then you have become old. And that's why the only time you have is today. And I always tell people, remain a child forever. Whatever
Mm,
you are doing, just to be able to manage all these pressures of life and the challenges of life, whatever you are
yeah,
doing, make sure that you are a child for life.
yeah,
If you
yeah,
like my guy, if you like cars, buy a good car and use it and enjoy yourself.
yeah.
Build good. I talked about health, wealth, and relationship. Maybe some other time when if I'm privileged to go, we'll talk about possible businesses. Relationship matters. Nobody checks your LinkedIn profile when you are 55, 60. Nobody's interested anymore. Because the same way today, for those of us that finished school in Nigeria, nobody worries about your jam score today anymore.
Yeah.
What you're locking your mind onto that is giving you concern today. The
Mm,
children you are today, Khalil Gibran said, your children are not yours. You're only a vessel by which they come into the world. They will
mm,
find their own direction. For some of us with grown-up children already, you find out that at a certain point, the children, they don't even, how much time do we even spend with our parents? My parents are still alive. My father called me today and I'm thinking, oh, I'll look for a day to come and spend the whole day with you. Okay.
mm,
And at a point in our lives, we couldn't leave our parents because they were our sense of security. But today,
yeah,
they are struggling to even get hold of us because we are
yeah,
pursuing our own.
yeah.
So, so when you now have all these concerns, it doesn't allow you to have what I call clarity.
Mm.
And you
That
cannot be
that's
the
so true.
boldest the life's biggest challenges
That's so
because
true.
it will always be there. If you are
That's so
burdened
true.
down by the challenges that you are facing now, you can't have the confidence and the courage to face the challenges of tomorrow.
That's so true. There is even a Bible story, and I would share sort of my thoughts as well. Um, so there's a Bible story, I think Mark 12, talking about a widow. So Jesus was sat there observing people putting money in, and this widow came and put two, pieces of money in it, and Jesus said she gave more than every other person because he could see that she gave all she had. She gave everything to that based
Mhm.
on what she has. Like what you've been saying is that we shouldn't look at what other people are doing. At
Mhm.
times, looking and benchmarking ourselves with others would make you always feel inferior. If there's something, one of the things I've picked up
Yeah,
from.
I apologize for even interjecting you there.
Okay.
In fact, that is even one of the source because we forgotten that we came into this world alone.
Mm,
Formed cliques and connections and friendship in this world. There's a tendency for you inadvertently to benchmark yourself amongst your peers.
yeah.
There's the story of a woman who started learning how to act movies at the age of 82. She died at the age of 87. The 3 years in between, she made 4 blockbuster movies that her entire life was described with those movies alone. Just
Hmm.
last 6 years of her life.
Last 6 years of our life. Wow.
What happened to the first 82 years? Nobody even remembers that. Nobody cares about it. If she
Mm,
had not attempted to start something new at the age of 82, she would never be known for anything in her
mm,
time.
wow.
So we are always benchmarking.
Hmm.
Benchmarking is human nature. But you must be sure. That's why I mentioned you need to be sure the kind of people you put in your ecosystem. But like when you were my friend when I even was even jobless,
Yeah.
but I could still talk to you and say, hey, Bolade, see, this is the situation of things. I wasn't looking at, oh, Bolade is doing well. Why am I not doing well? So there's a tendency for you to always benchmark other people's progress with yours. But you don't know their journey. You
Yeah.
don't know the sacrifices they are putting in. You even don't know their challenges.
Yeah.
I spoke to a senior, more like a bigger brother yesterday. We're talking about, oh, he said, oh, Tess, you're around. He said, Tess, please don't take a job with Ali Button. If I tell people here not to take a job with one of the biggest oil companies in the world, what would they say? They tell me you're
Yeah, so who are you
taking
talking
a
about?
job with I would live my entire life trying to get a job with Ali Button. I got a job with Ali Button in Texas, in the US. And I had regrets. I was a mechanic. I had to go back to the bank. This is an engineer, a petroleum engineer.
Wow.
Imagine someone saying, "Oh, I want to be like that guy that got into Ali Button," and then you suddenly find out that, oh, wait a minute, even this job is not as extraordinary as I thought it would be.
Mm,
Run your race, build your life.
mm.
Do things that makes. That's why I said never ever cease being a child. You need to see
Yeah.
me and cameras. Bolade, see me and cameras and gadgets. You just see. I have right beside me. I have drones. I have everything. You just see the baby in me because how do you cope with the pressures of life if you're always nothing, you're always looking at the next problem? You will forget to live today, and one day you will wake up, like I
Yeah.
said, you realize that your hopes for what is to come are far less than the things that you can remember.
Yeah.
With the day that you become very old.
Yeah. Yeah. I also want to say this, even though it's out, and I would explain why I'm saying this story. It's a story that I heard one day. Funny enough, it was a group of Muslims talking. I was just passing by, and I listened to that story, and that story taught me a lot of things. The story was about a warrior who the king, like, I don't know if it's true. I don't know if
The
it's,
folklore, yeah,
yeah, if it's folklore. I think it's folklore, that the warrior was very strong and the king told him, well done for serving, well done for everything you've done. I will reward you now, but the reward I'll give you would be as far as you can cover, because the king was very rich and said, if you can go as far as possible, even if you can go to the edge of the kingdom, I'll give you all that property as yours. And according to the way they explained it, the guy kept riding. He would want to stop. He would say, no, let me just still continue. Let me just still continue. And he went on and on for several years. And one day he just fell down. And just before he died, he said, look, do you know, I have been spending all my life trying to acquire all this wealth, all this property, but all I really needed was a small piece of ground that they can bury me in when I die. And they said, with that, the guy died.
true.
So that is to buttress what you said, that life has its challenges. There would always be people who seem to be doing well in some areas. There will be some people who are not doing well. The most important thing, like you said, is to be true to ourselves. Make sure we are living an optimized life, but not beating ourselves up. The widow gave all she had, and Jesus recognized that it's not the quantity at times, it's the quality. Let's
Absolutely.
and I'm talking to myself as well, that let's learn to enjoy life on a day-to-day basis,
Yeah.
rather than like that horseman continue galloping saying, I want to get more, I want to get more, and deferring that day, that okay, just a little more, just when this happens, just when this happens, just when I get a million, just when I get 5 million, just when I get 20 million. Like you said, it doesn't stop, because there
Once
will be more challenges.
once you tie your life to any of those things, you will never find happiness. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what.
Mm,
We used to write back then. West, we used to write to universities abroad,
mm,
and we hope that one day we'll go into many of these universities. We never had a dime to our
mm.
name. It was like a mirage. It was not never going to happen. And then, in fact, there was a time I remember that my friend and I we wrote. But even when we're in the university in Ife, we got an admission with Wichita State University. Prospectus was so beautiful. And oh my God, if only I can just see somebody who just come and give us money to go to this university. Oh, I will read day and night. I will be the best student. I look at myself. I mean, now in the United States, if you ask me to go to one university to go and study now, and it's Wichita State University, trust me, what do you mean I should go to Wichita State University? So life is a continuum, and really all that we need at the end of the day, and this is the sad truth, is a 6 feet piece of like a it's just 6 feet that we need at the end, because everything that we are even gathering today, everything that we are putting together,
Yeah.
at the end of it all, it will end up with someone else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not necessarily even our own family members and siblings.
Mm.
The days of life, just live life, run your own race. The day that you have enough, the day that you don't have enough,
Yeah.
enjoy that you have the gift of life for that day. Remember the three major things that I mentioned.
Mm.
Take care of,
Yeah.
eat good food, healthy food, not canned food. Eat healthy food, get enough sleep, and exercise regularly. These things will help you prolong your life as much as possible. I mean, life and death
Yeah.
belongs to God.
Yeah.
Relationship, build excellent, clean, neat, friendly, and happy relationship. Stay away from toxic people who take you into happy, sadness, people who see you as ATM. This happens in Nigeria a lot. People
Mm.
see you as ATM. Be okay to tell people no. And if they choose not to be your friend, be okay to still continue living and enjoying your life
Mm.
without feeling bothered by what people say. And don't, you see, many of you will buy, in fact, a lot of times,
Yeah.
you know, I look at my small place in Nigeria and I'm thinking, do I even need a bigger house? And then I have three cars. Do I need the three cars? I only need one. I only need one. And you just realize that a lot of things we crave for, the beauty, and unfortunately for humans, we are kind of psychologically perversely affected by the things we cannot or should not have.
Mm.
Many of us crave for things that we don't have the means to maintain them, and then we want them, and then we get them, and then what next? Then we can't
Exactly.
answer where
Yeah.
we stop.
So we'll soon be wrapping up. You know, the time always goes quick, and there's always a lot of good insights and nuggets to still share. I want to get people's views. I think there are a few people who have contributed here. JJ said, "LOL." Maybe when we're talking about the people who said we copied them in the test and things like that, and and also.
We can
Uh,
take questions from
yeah, so Alice
from
is saying, run your race, build your life. This is profound. If anyone has any question, great for you or anyone else, or a question you're asking on behalf of anyone, please feel free to like and to ask. Please, we have just a few minutes. We'll begin to wrap up. So okay, we have our evangelist here as well, Evangelist Sam Nuben. Thank you. It's a great discussion, brethren. I want to pull this into the Christian circle a bit more, to as we begin to round up. One of the things, so the theme for Unbox Praise this year is mind your mind. Mind your mind. Because we discovered that the mind is the interface between the physical and the spiritual, between the good and the bad, between success and failure, and so many other things. But as Christians, there is that tendency for people to associate prosperity in quotes with God's blessing, and look at people who are rich and say that is a sign that God has blessed them more than others. I want to get your view. I can see you're already laughing.
I'm
Um,
laughing because I'm laughing.
so, but am I right? So people feel free to, drop these
Yeah.
questions and support me on this, whether I'm right or wrong. That is blessings a mark of, we know that anyone that every good things comes from above, we know that. But if Mr. A seems to have more money than Mr. B, does it mean that Mr. B's prayers is not answered? Does it mean Mr. B is a
Very
failure,
simple.
or
God,
needs
God,
to tap
God will
into
not give
the
you.
prosperity anointing of Mr. A?
God will not give you. See, God is very just and fair,
Mm,
and He won't. He won't give you a challenge that if God can, He won't give you, He won't allow you to go through a burden that He will not be able to help you overcome. And when you say more money, it's relative. Can you handle more problems like the same person you are comparing yourself with? Or would you like to take on the same problem? Because if you see the magnitude of their problem, probably that money will not be attractive to you again. Money is relative and it depends on the reference point. What
Mm,
you call money today to somebody may be peanut to someone else.
mm,
And just how much is enough?
mm,
Have you ever seen where money is a burden to some people? Money is a burden to some people. You probably don't know.
mm.
So at the end of the day, it's again it still boils down to all that we are saying. You're Christians, you see another brother or another sister in church, you seem to be doing better. Yes, celebrate God for their life,
Mm.
appreciate what God has done for them. If it's something you also desire, a couple of things you can do. Pray to God, God, I desire this set of blessing as well. Then meet with these people if you can. If they're your brethren in church or wherever, meet with them. Oh, I'd love to know more about if they are really Christians, they will be willing to uplift you as well.
Yeah.
The
Uh,
true what has sustained humanity and our existence till today is the fact that human beings that have been resilient have done a lot, even sometimes sacrificing a lot to protect the existence of some other people. Otherwise, black people should not even be existing on the surface of the earth today.
yeah. Yeah.
People pay dearly. So we can't keep comparing ourselves with other people.
Yeah.
And in the Christendom, we must be careful
Yeah.
not to offend God by coveting other people's progress and success
Yeah.
because we don't know what God has taken those people through to get
Yeah.
them to where.
Exactly. So there's a comment here saying, that you are very right. The sad thing about the issue of being blessed came from a societal inclination. Everyone is born blessed. That blessing is life. Life and things are not the same. To someone in the hospital now, health is the only blessing such person wants. Thank you very much. So
Let
that's
me share a quick story before it's again.
okay. Just 30 seconds as we begin to wrap up. Uh,
2 years ago, I came to the US for a quick medical checkup. And just me coming to do a checkup. And then, we found some things that needs to be looked into. And then apparently the doctors have been chasing my brother for the same thing. Only to find out that within a month, we found out that he was already on stage 3 colon cancer.
hmm,
That singular visit saved his life today.
hmm,
And if I'm not saying, if we are not counting those that God have blessed,
hmm,
will I not be happier to have my brother still alive today and healthy than me remembering that he was once here?
hmm,
What's your definition of success and blessings from God?
hmm,
It doesn't. It does. I don't even remember how much I spent on my flight ticket,
hmm,
but that single blessing of sparing his life is more than enough.
hmm, hmm,
It's more than enough. So,
hmm.
so I think that should be enough for us to.
Yes, so there's two more comments. We have just 30 seconds to wrap up. So Evangelist said that those who associate being blessed with things are people who have issues with competitive mindset.
Absolutely,
That
absolutely.
that's so true. Some people, it just has to be them on top of everything. I agree. I agree. And we also have Pastor Nika here. So she says, "You are rich does not mean you are successful," and that still follows everything we've said. That it's all
Yeah,
relative. Um, I want
yeah.
to thank you so much for coming. This has been, at such short notice. I looked around and said, I need someone who has the track record and the story in order to bring this topic to life. Not everybody was born with a silver spoon, but through the help of God, some people have been able to achieve a lot of success, but now realize that success is not just about money. It's not just about fame or wealth. It's about, being true to who you are, being true to your purpose, enjoying life, making an impact. And, so thank you so much. Thank you for
Thank you
joining
so much
us. And
for
thank
having
you,
me.
everyone, for your contributions. These are really fire contributions. Thank you so much. I said the video production is very clean. The audio is also fantastic. Oh, thank you so much, sir. We did a lot of tweaking, and a few people like Yosin, Ngozi, Akorede, Alice all helped in doing all the checks. So thank you so much. But what I want to leave us with as we close is that there is no success story I've read that has not started from a place of limited resources. Nobody has it. Even the story of the talents, God gave them the instruction to multiply. That was why what he told Adam at the beginning, that they should be fruitful and multiply. He told Abraham, your offspring will be multiplied. When you have limited resources, the responsibility is for you to multiply those resources. But don't feel that you are in a minority. Don't feel that God doesn't like you. He has just given you those things that he knows you can really deliver on. Don't bury your limited resources. Don't look down on yourself. Don't feel that your life is over. Don't feel people are better than you. They are not. They may have gone to school before you, but that doesn't mean they are better than you. This is your year to make an impact. Limited resources or not, like Teslim has said, it doesn't matter. What you need to do is enjoy life and make the most out of it, and God will recognize it because he can see you're putting in all your best, and God will bless us all in Jesus' name. So thank you again, once again, everyone, for your contributions. Thanks, JJ, for helping with the sound check as well. And thank you, Ma, for, Pastor Helen, my aunt and mentor, spiritual, I'll call it compass, and making sure I'm, properly motivated spiritually. And thank you, everyone. Next week, we'll be talking about a different topic. I don't normally tell people about the topic, but next week, we'll be talking about building unity in diverse communities. Teslim's talked about relationship. It's time we look a bit closer into it. And third week, last week in February, we'll be talking about growing through relationships. So he has opened the door for us to go into relationships. The next 2 weeks, we'll be looking at diverse communities, how to grow and make impact. The world we're in, whether we like it or not, you would have different sorts of people. Trying to say everybody should be like you are just going to waste time and life. It's time to understand how to tackle different people, different personalities, diverse communities. And after we know how to do that, how do we grow through relationships? That's February. March, there are some awesome topics. So please feel free, add a friend, call people, tell them it's going down here, and God will bless us all. So our time is limited. And I believe we've used the best of it. So thank you, everyone. God bless you. And thanks, Tess, so much. Really appreciate you all the time. Thank you, bro.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thanks all. So have a wonderful week and stay blessed.
And you will never ever change. You are the Lord. You remain the same. It's a simple chorus. You will never ever change. You are the Lord. You remain the same. Help me sing. You will never, 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 never. You are the Lord. Let your name be glorified. Oh, you will never, 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 never